Should we do the training and see?
No. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Super Social Club Whiskey in the Six, and we are joined by some old school whiskey tubers. The South Florida Peat Lovers back on YouTube. What's up, gentlemen? How are you guys doing tonight?
Well, coming out of the ice age here in South Florida, where there's never any ice, but we're good, man. Glad to be here, and you know, you guys inspire us to come back out of the ice age with one of your latest videos, and so we figure, why not? We did a warm-up video a week ago.
Yeah.
And we realized how terrible our cameras were, at least mine. And so we need to step up our game, but we're good, man. We're happy to be here and happy to be joining you guys on the channel.
Well, our friends will definitely appreciate the shirt you're wearing tonight.
Yeah, repping the Jays. Love it.
It was intentional. It was intentional. You know?
It's in Rogers Center under construction right now. It is, right?
Yeah.
It is,
They're
yeah.
redoing Rogers Center, making it more of kind of like a friendly atmosphere, taking away a bunch of the high level seats, making more like lounge bars kind of area to chill in. So yeah, we're excited to see what that's going to be like for the new season. But yeah, our Jays, man, they got a good team, just couldn't get through the first round this year. But we got high hopes for them, man.
You know, Vlad Guerrero is from where we're from, and we love that guy. But you're right. I actually would love to go there. We've done, I don't know, 25 or 26 stadiums already.
Yeah, we're missing like 5.
I think we're definitely missing Roger and then in a handful of others, but we're almost there. So it'll be nice to go over there. I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to be in Toronto in June for a conference. And as we get closer to that, I'll hit you guys up. If there's an opportunity to go to Rogers, shit. We'll
we got to do that.
We'll hit up a game. It'll be great, man.
Yeah.
We'll have you live on set over here. We'll have you like sitting in the Whiskey in the Six lounge over here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
When is that going to happen? I have an ankle bracelet here. I don't think I can fly.
Yeah.
You should know how to like work around those things by now, right? You've had enough of those.
No, they've gotten better.
It's the cross-border shit that gets you.
Yeah.
This rum is stupid.
I know.
It is. I just tasted it. It's salty. It's this like the viscosity is ridiculous.
All right. Well, let's talk about what we're drinking tonight because we just cracked a whole bunch of stuff. You guys got a lot of stuff on the go. Why don't you guys start? What do you guys got poured tonight in your glass right now?
I got this Gordon MacPhail. It's called the Discovery.
Nice.
It's got a whole bunch of different casks. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's 10-year-old.
Beauty.
Right on. Nice. What's the ABV on that one?
I think it's 48. 43%. Really good. Lots of sherry. $55. The guy had it at a store. He said about 6 years roughly.
Oh wow.
And he never sold.
Yeah, that one's an older bottle.
I've never had it.
Yeah. Those there was like the Milton Duffs and like a few different like distilleries that were put into those ones, but yeah, that's a cool one. Nice.
Lots of sherry though. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I want to lead off with something I just snatched down in St. Kitts a few days ago. This is a Glenfiddich 15-year-old, what they call VAT 03. It's 4 different casks. Is a European sherry, new oak, and it's got ex-bourbon, and then they finish it on a Solera vat for a few months. And so I'm looking forward to this. It's 700 ml and it's 50.2% alcohol by volume. It looks kind of light, you know, it's not as dark I would have expected it to be, but this is going to be my first go around. I just brought it, first time cracking it open. So I was saving it for this opportunity with you guys. So let's have at it. We got some other stuff, but this stuff right here is going to be the lead-off hitter.
Yeah, and we just cracked a whole bunch of stuff too, Rob. What do we got?
So I cracked like literally just before we went on camera this new Yarmouth. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. It's a Jamaican rum. It's 26 years old, 56.9% ABV. It spent 25 years in Jamaica, and then they moved it to Europe for 1 year.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's the Valentin Mallet bottlings, the art bottlings that they do, the independent bottler. Just beautiful bottles, and this one is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Right
It's a
off the
fresh
bat.
crack, but it's unreal. Then we have a very peated 14-year-old Kilhoman here, which is 53.4%.
Is that bourbon cask?
This is bourbon cask. It was bottled as a charity for multiple sclerosis. So I think a percentage of this bottle goes to the foundation. And then you cracked this a couple days ago.
Yes, this is the new Amroot Spectrum. This is the crazy one where they take staves from different casks and put them all together and reassemble a cask. So they've got like PX, they got Oloroso, ex-bourbon, and maybe something else. They rechart French oak. They rechart it all. They assemble this cask and they make this like Frankenstein of a whiskey. This is the new release. It's crazy.
That's like genius.
It's the Frankenstein of a whiskey. I don't think that Scotch could legally do that, could they?
I don't know.
I don't know if they can legally do that.
Otherwise, they probably would have.
Anyway, Amroot does it really well. This is like their third or fourth edition of this series that they've done.
Wow.
That sounds freaking awesome.
Yeah, this one is the nose is beautiful.
It's crazy.
The
and
nose
like
is really,
it's got
really
so
nice.
much going on. Every time you go to the glass, there's something new coming out at you.
I remember nosing the old version of the 004 and not liking it as much as this one.
Sometimes it noses great, and sometimes you get a really funky, weird note to it. It's really weird.
That's
really
like
weird.
the tropical climate or the hot climate of India, I guess, right?
No age statement on this, but yeah, really interesting pour.
They normally don't have any age statements, and I was reading a lot about Amroot when I first started buying them, and it gets so hot there. Yeah. So hot that the evaporation, the angel shares is like crazy. Yeah. Within a year or two, they got probably about half a cask left.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah.
It's very oaky, very drying, but very, very good.
It's definitely a whiskey you can dissect, and like there's so much going on with it. It's just insane.
This is better than the last one.
I think. I mean,
we'll see. You know what would be dope? You know, it'll be great if when opening day over at the Rogers Stadium, we can use that jumbotron there, you know, and do this what we're doing now.
I'm sure people would love to see that.
That'd be pretty awesome.
A couple people in the chat, Go Hab saying Jay suck. This guy's from Montreal. You know, he's just a bitter old.
I would be bitter too if I was from Montreal.
I guess he cheers for like Washington now, maybe. I don't know what his deal is, but
well, the Expos are supposed to be coming back though. That's what I've been hearing for.
That'd be epic.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the Expos, and I wasn't even an Expo fan.
Yeah.
We're all for our Canadian teams.
Yeah,
bro, I was a big Expos fan growing up. Like, you know,
well, Vladimir Guerrero was like one of the best players when we started watching baseball. He was epic. So
senior, yeah, for sure.
Senior, yeah.
Yeah, well, when they were back then, they also have Pedro Martinez, which is one part of the reason why I became I was a big fan of theirs. And then what do you call it? And we're digressing here, but it's so important that we say that Gary Carter was one of the guys there behind the plate back in those days. And I love Gary Carter when he went to the Mets and they won the World Series. But anyway, I'm digressing. Other than the fact that you know, you guys got some awesome shit on the table there. So it kind of lends itself to the question of which one were you looking forward to comparing or tasting in comparison to what you have next to each other going into this tonight?
Go ahead.
This is a tough one because I've heard from a few different sources, and I don't buy a lot of rum, but when I do, I buy cash strength rum and I buy, you know, like from bottlers that I trust. And I heard from a few different sources that this is the best rum that they've ever tried. And I don't know if it's the best rum I've ever tried, but it's fantastic for sure. So I was very excited about that one. And then this Amroot Spectrum, they haven't done it in a long time. So I was pretty excited about that as well.
Yeah, I was really excited for the Amroot Spectrum just because you know you're getting just a weird Frankenstein of a whiskey. And
Larry Walker.
This one delivers, man. This one delivers nice. So let's talk about your guys' channel, because like we put out a video not too long ago. We were reminiscing about our own like older videos, and we were shouting out a bunch of like YouTubers that we had watched coming up before we even started our channels. You guys were on the list. You guys have been doing it for what, 12 years? Is that how old your
Has it been?
Give or
Has
take.
it been that long?
Yeah, I think it's
I
been
think
10,
so.
10 or 12 years. We started watching you guys. Love the banner back and forth.
Yeah.
You guys shooting the shit, busting each other's balls.
Yeah,
You know.
well, my brother's still a piece of shit. That hasn't changed. But that hasn't changed at all. Yeah.
But you guys are bringing so many epic whiskeys to the table. You know, you always said that you're bringing the goods. You were cracking really good stuff, and you know, it was really interesting to watch. And
It was a lot easier to find a lot of stuff before at a great affordable price.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I still have that Yamazaki. I still have like probably 1/16 of a bottle left.
Oh, wow.
It's been the screw cap. It's really tight. I haven't opened it in a while. I had a dram probably 2 years ago, and it tastes just like what I remember that it tasted when I first opened it.
Yeah.
There were so many other things. It's incredible. Now everything is just so difficult to get. There was a point in which I used to order from the Whiskey Exchange and Master of Malts, and there was not a lot of single malts. I still don't get a lot of things that you guys have behind that bar, or whatever you got on top of the counter for that matter. I normally I don't know. I just have to drive around, go to mom and pops. And they usually have things like this. They're like really rare, at a discounted, amount of dollars, and that's how we normally find things. You go to Total Wine. I don't know if you guys have that in Canada.
We don't.
but
But we've been to them in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like a huge Walmart.
It's an alcoholic's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they normally have the same thing. I have a buddy of mine that works there, and I go, and maybe next time you guys, show me how to load up some pictures. I was just having a 30-year-old bottle of Shielday, I think it's called, a 29-year-old bottle of something else, and we were just having a dram right there. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I had a meeting to attend to at 12:30. So by the time I got back, I was already sweating, because it was just like hammering right there. And they just don't have a lot. They just have weird stuff that people have, I don't know, settled for. I'm looking for a Parliament. That used to be my go-to, Glendronach 21-year-old Parliament. You can't find that thing here.
Glendronach was purchased by an American company now.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know.
A U.S. company purchased them. And so, and by the way, anybody that's watching and you fellas, when he said that he's going to work, it's bullshit. He's doing he's fucking on that orange suit, cutting the grass on the side of the highway. Because that's his Zoom call right there. but all bullshit aside, I agree with what my brother's saying is there's a lot of stuff that is out there that we really don't know whether it's good or not, and it's sometimes the hesitation is, do we spend $100 on something that we really don't know, or 150 on something that we really don't know, than to crack it up and be like, oh, this shit sucks,
Yeah.
And then just have a bottle sitting there and then throw it on the lawnmower if you run out of gas.
Sure.
Yeah, like not too long ago, I went to Stranahan in Colorado, and they have this special release, and they wanted $89, no age statement, no nothing. I'm like, how do you expect someone to spend $84 on a bottle of whiskey? It's a single malt, by the way. I've had a few bottles, and they're okay. They're not. I mean, $84 is not. I mean, with $30 you get a single malt from Scotland. I mean, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That seems like the way of like the smaller distilleries. They're charging a lot for their malt.
It's crazy.
Is it justified? Maybe not.
It goes. So we did an interview with a store owner recently, and he spoke to this new kind of philosophy in the alcohol. Like, he kind of suggested it, and then it made me think of all these, like, it's like a new philosophy now where people are trying to get rich off of one bottle, as opposed to, hey, let's price this right so that people keep coming back. Like, how are you going to go back to Stranahan's after going there and trying to buy a special release for $85?
No.
No, right? Like, and that's the thing is, they're missing the bigger picture. Right now, whiskey is super popular. What happens in 10 years if it's not anymore? What happens if other things start to take over and all these guys that were charging these big dollars before have to readjust their pricing?
Yeah.
Right.
It's mezcal. Have you had any mezcal before?
Oh yeah.
So really it's the peated version of tequila, right? Yeah. And so if you want to put it in simple terms, but I wanted to go back to something Jeremy just brought up. I don't know, Jesus Christ, 12 years we've been doing shit like this. And then to go back to when the video you guys actually brought us out of the ice age was to the people that inspired you and the reasons why you went on. And me and my brother used to watch a guy.
Oh, I know where you're going with that.
What was his name? Was it Tom C?
Tom C. You guys never saw him?
Maybe I did.
It sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar.
All right.
Go
ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think the guy used to be on a wheelchair. And so his shots were always sideways and he had to hit on the mouse. And he was a big fan of Glenn Farkas. And
used to call it Glenn Farkas.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I went one time to what's that place over in above Michigan in Canada?
Sault Ste. Marie?
Yeah.
No, it'll come back to me in a minute.
Alberta?
I went there and I ran somewhere into a liquor store and I ran into my first Glenn Farkas I've ever bought. It was a 10-year-old. And I loved it. And I was like, no wonder this guy really likes it. And then obviously at the same time we actually were starting to do videos, we started to see people like obviously Ralphie was around. And then you guys mentioned the Whiskey Bitch. We were a big fan of the Whiskey Bitch. And there were quite a few out there that just kind of felt like, hey, everybody's doing their little thing, but everybody's doing it differently. And so for us, the shades, we get a lot of shit about it, right? So we just try to do something that was different than everyone else. And the only different thing that was about our character was, well, now that we're both bald, right? And we just don't give a shit. Other than the fact that what else can we do that's different? And so we just figure, hey, we're from Florida, just throw the shades on. So we get from time to time heat about that, but we get a lot of people to celebrate it. So it's kind of weird. It's just an odd thing,
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a branding thing you guys have, right? Yeah, it's your signature. It's great.
Yeah, but going back to Tom C for a sec.
Yeah,
I was a huge fan. I used to watch all his videos back to back to back to back. Apparently, he was okay. He got into a ski accident, and he ended up in a wheelchair though. And he used to go to the kitchen sometimes and start up a video, and he was already loaded. I'm talking about
he was the best.
He was incoherent. And he was the one that introduced me to the Glenlivet Nadura when he first came out, like back in 2010, 2011. There was a Nadura sherry cask, and there was another one. There was a peated version, and he got me into Glen Farkless, the nose. Because of him, I bought the 15-year-old Glen Farkless, and they don't bring it to the States. I had to order that from the Whiskey Exchange, and they do come with that. The stamp in the back from the UK, that's your I forget what it's called. Anyhow, you can't get that one. So I ended up ordering that. And the thing about the Whiskey Exchange is that you have to pay, it's like 42, not dollars, pound for them to ship it. And I'm like, okay. I ended up talking to someone. I'm like, how about if I order 3 bottles? Can you just box in the same box? And so I could, at least save 2 shipping charges. Yep. They said, no, it's impossible. And, then I found out that they were able to do it for someone else. And then I was like, you know what? And that wasn't the Whiskey Exchange. That was Master of Malt. And I stopped buying from them because I don't know if the LCBO is just like another Total Wine here. And if you guys are obligated to just buy from them, because I know when he moved to Virginia, there were ABC liquor stores that they're different than the ABC liquor stores all throughout the United States, I think. And they regulate these things. Yeah. There was somebody else, and you forgot this guy. Fun with Pete and Sherry.
Everything is owned by the state there, so you can't get around with anything but what they actually put there. Hey, but listen, real quick, because I know we're going on a rant here.
We
but
love
I
rabbits.
wanted to give the people and the followers, and for Jeremy's been so gracious to have us on the channel, a little bit of what I'm actually tasting in this shit, right? So which is part of the whole deal. This right here, that Glenfiddich Vat 3 15-year-old, that 50% alcohol on it doesn't go away. The smell of the alcohol does not go away. And I've been trying to let that sucker breathe for a little bit and sipping and breathing it. Typically, I'll smell something else, but the alcohol's overpowering the nose in so many ways. It is probably, if I had to compare it, I will say it's almost like the French oak.
Like cork broke.
You know, like the French oak Glenlivet is what is coming to me with this. So anyway, you know, a little peppery, little cinnamony, not very viscous or not a whole lot of viscosity on it. So anyway, I just wanted to give you some of that in case you ponder on grabbing one of these. You know, just think about that, right? Think about that it's not something that's going to be sweet and smooth. It's going to be something a little bit more alcohol level for you to kind of just get effed up and not really just really enjoy it.
Right.
Huh. Interesting.
So you guys released a video recently, your first video in multiple years, and you're really getting into kind of like revamping your channel, but more like comparing older malts with newer malts. So like you flash, you know, Macallan, an old Macallan 1994, you know, you got some older stuff, comparing it to new stuff. Is that where you're going to kind of go with maybe your first couple reviews when you guys finally get together, is like comparing an older bottling that you've had for a while compared with like a new release? Is that like kind of what you're thinking?
That was part of the idea, yeah. And there's a few of those that we have that we could compare and contrast. One of them being Tomatin. Not a lot of people drink it, you know, and I'll be honest with you. At the beginning, I didn't like it much, but then it grew on me, and I have old bottles of Tomatin. I have a 30-year-old that I bought probably 7 years ago. I paid $99.
Yeah.
$99 for a 30-year-old Tomatin.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, I'm assuming you guys still have a huge inventory of stuff because, like, there's a couple states that we've been to in the U.S. that have good prices on whiskey. This is like, you know, pre-COVID times. Florida being one of them, California being the other. So I'm sure you guys have a huge selection. Like, is your stock still like vast? You still have a big selection of good stuff?
Not mine's nowhere near as my brother's. Like I actually drink, right? Like I actually drink my shit. I do have I don't know, maybe about 50 bottles. When my brother has maybe about $150, 175. How many you got now? There's a variety of stuff, and you know, it's pretty impressive, honestly.
I recently moved about 5 months ago, and I counted 146, and I probably purchased maybe another 10 or 12 since then. About 160, I will say.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have bourbon too, because I tried to break into the bourbon world. I even went to Kentucky. I went to Buffalo Trace Distillery, Rabbit Hole, many places. I spent a couple of days drinking bourbon, just bourbon. There's a few that I really enjoyed. I still get this plastic taste with bourbon. I don't know where it comes from. I normally get it from old bourbon that I've tasted. But then after coming back from Kentucky, I cleansed my palate a couple of days with no, you know, scotch or anything. And I visited someone, and he had, surprisingly, a Johnny Walker, I think it was a Platinum. A Platinum doesn't have an age statement anymore. And it was a blended scotch. And I had a dram, and I was like, wow, are you kidding me? Something that I really don't normally drink. And he felt so much better, so much fancier, so much, you know, the bourbon. I mean, I'm not, you know, saying anything wrong about bourbon. I mean, people like and drink where they want. I still drink bourbon. I have Angel's Envy. I have Rabbit Hole. I have, you know, a few of those. I have an Eagle Rare from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. I have a Blanton that, you know, now they're going for like $300. If you can find them, you know, even at the Buffalo Trace Distillery, they didn't have any. So, yeah, if I put up maybe a cube of ice in a glass, I'll have a bourbon.
Yeah.
I still haven't been able to figure out why it has that taste of
Well,
plastic.
it's just like an earthy aftertaste, right? Is probably signature of bourbons in the U.S. But there's a rabbit hole. There's PX and Sherry Oloroso. I think it's called Derringer.
Yeah, I
And
have that one.
if you fellas haven't had that shit, boy, let me tell you, woo, that is
Yeah.
good. That is real good.
Have you guys had rabbit hole?
We've had a rabbit hole. I had one recently. I can't remember which one it was.
It was a single cask, right?
It wasn't single cask.
No.
It's available at the LCBO, believe it or not.
Was it a
Oh,
rye?
that's right. You did have that.
It was like 47% or something.
But
like
it
that.
wasn't a PX
I bet
finish,
you
was
Peter
it?
White knows. Peter White's in the chat.
That's good.
Peter White knows.
And let me tell you,
The rabbit hole, yeah.
that rabbit hole distillery, it is so new, so I don't know, tech driven. Everything is beautiful as opposed to Buffalo Trace. It's so old, and I like old better. But yet you go to this new distilleries, and I think it's like I was following someone that was presenting a video on Springbank, and they tend to do things. They still do most of their work with their hands. Most of the distillers have gone to computerized systems and whatnot that they control everything. That's the difference between a Buffalo Trace distillery. There's a good movie. I'll probably send you guys the link though. It's a story in Kentucky. Employees of Buffalo Trace. Some guy was losing his house. He couldn't afford his mortgage anymore, so he stole 2 bottles of Pappy Van Winkle.
Mm-hmm.
And you seen it, Rob?
Yeah, on Netflix.
Okay, there you go. Well, okay. I'll put the link there, and maybe your subscribers or maybe Jeremy, if you haven't seen it. It's really good.
Yeah, it is. What was it called again? Do you remember?
The Great Heist or something?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. And then he eventually started just stealing like straight barrels. Like he was like starts.
Oh yeah.
Forget
Forget the bottles. Let's take the barrels.
Like, up a barrel. Yeah, just like a barrel or something, and like everything. He not just Pappy, but he took other stuff too.
He probably could have got away with it if he wasn't so greedy, because
he was a rock star,
Yeah.
right? And like it got to him. Yeah. He was like, oh yeah, I can get you all this stuff. But like honestly, guys, like we haven't drank that much bourbon this year. I feel like this year we've purchased less bourbon than ever before.
So for a while on this channel, or on my channel, sorry, I shouldn't say this because this is technically your channel, but for a while, like we would talk about a bourbon and I'd be like, yeah, it's bourbon. And then recently I was talking about a bourbon that I was actually impressed with, and I poured it for Jeremy. He's like, it's bourbon.
Oh yeah, what I say? I was like, I fucking hate bourbon now.
I was like, what?
I'm over it.
What just happened? It was
Yeah.
like
Because I was always the big bourbon drinker,
Yeah.
more so than you. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Scotch is still number one, but like
Yeah.
I would drink way more bourbon. But now it's like I don't drink that much, man. I'm not drinking that much bourbon right now.
By the way, since Jeremy, it sounds like you more on the exploring, right? The bourbons are probably more leaning towards some of that, right? But I picked up some shit in Tennessee. I brought you a bottle.
Yeah, I still have it.
Is a place called Junction 46, I believe, and they make a single barrel bourbon that is freaking fantastic and no age statement on it. I just happen to go, I happen to be in Tennessee.
I think it's cast strength.
Yeah, it is cast strength, and it's in Gatlinburg. I have the bottle. I'll bring it up in a second, and it's actually really freaking good. And I couldn't believe how good it was for like a little mom and pop shop. And then there was one that we actually reviewed in Virginia when I was there. It's called Quinco, something like that. It was small batch, mom and pop shop out of New York in Rochester. And a friend of mine that's friends with the owner brought it to me as a gift. And I was like, man, fuck that. I'm just going to leave it there on the side. And when my brother came to visit, I'm like, let's just try this shit. Let's just do a review. Man, it was
awesome.
Probably the best surprise we could have ever had that Christmas.
Yeah,
I still got plastic on that.
Yeah, it's an aftertaste. Hey, fellas, I'm just gonna tell you what I'm gonna savor on right now for round 2 of my offering is this bad boy, the Balvenie 12-year-old triple cask. We don't get this inland. This is a product that is mainly
Duty
for the
free.
market. You typically get that in the duty-free shops outside of the United States. And this bad boy is Sherry Oloroso, ex-bourbon, and Pedro Jimenez. And I had 2 of these, and one is actually deceased within a week. And so I'm looking forward to sharing some of my thoughts with this. But what do you guys got going on there?
So I'm on to my Kilhoman over here, the 14-year-old. I went through all the, well, I put some aside because I don't want to get sloppy on the live here, but this is unreal. That's really, really good. The rum is really, really good. I'm okay with this. Like, I'm not sure I love it. Like, it's good, but it's like whatever.
Yeah.
How many ppms that Kilhoman? I heard you say it's really peated.
Yeah, so
it is peated.
The Kilhoman is super peated, and I'm really digging it.
I love that Kilhoman nose, man.
Yeah,
it's like very minerally.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a more peated version of Lagavulin. Like
how many ppms you think it has? How high is it?
It says it's 50 ppm. Yeah, so it's not crazy high, but it drinks like a higher ppm than it actually is. 14 years old for a Kilhoman is very old.
It's good. Kilhoman's a whiskey that doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah,
you know,
they should get more. I got a lot more. Wow. I also ordered from the Whiskey Exchange. I still have it probably about halfway. It's still as good as the first day. I thought it was very peated when I first opened it, but now it has mellowed down and non-age statement. It was one of the first bottles. I think it was like 3 years old, 4 years old, something like that. Really dark.
Yeah. Was it the Saneg?
No.
So like the newer Sanegs are super dark.
Sherry.
Like very, very heavy sherry. Yeah.
And this is a store pick?
It's an
official bottling.
It's an official bottling, single cask though.
Okay.
And it was, like I said, bottled for the MS Society. Yeah, Multiple Sclerosis Society Whiskey Fest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Speaking of Whiskey Fest, you guys, do they do a lot of those up in Toronto?
I mean, there's really just one, and it's like Spirit of Toronto.
Spirit of Toronto.
We've been a couple times. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't say it's like on par with other whiskey festivals that I've seen promoted before, but we've had a great time there. It's all you can drink event, and they do it up pretty nice. It's very classy.
Every time we did a Spirit of Toronto, I had something like big the next day. Like the first one I had
That's
my daughter's like baptism.
You couldn't let loose as much as I did.
Yeah.
I was, stumbling out of there. But like the thing about Spirit of Toronto is like, this is the thing. Like they have a general admission ticket where you get access to all the vendors. And then they have master classes where you can like pay a little bit extra and get like a tasting with like really epic stuff. And that's really like where it shines. Mm-hmm. And you sign up for like one of those, and those sell out super quick. As far as the general admission is concerned, it's more kind of like basic stuff that you would normally see around. Like nothing. There is the outlier where like a really cool bottle like presents itself, but it's really about the master classes that you can get in addition to the general admission that are really epic about Spirit of Toronto.
Yeah.
Funny thing just came to my mind. Well, you guys were putting up videos of us as you guys were doing your video. What really brought us back to this, that footage in which, and I think you guys cut it off because it wasn't a whole video. That footage there, and when you see our wives coming from Costco, that was not. Dile mami, cierrame la puerta. Cierrame la puerta. Dile mami. That wasn't staged. They really went out to get. I think it was maybe vodka or something, And I normally drink Blue Label only in the month from the end of November after Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving, and the month of December. That's when I really enjoy it. I like it for some reason. I don't know. I've done it for over 10 years like that. So that wasn't staged, really. They came back and they just put that bottle
Just
there.
like you like being in jail in the summer.
Yeah, really warm.
Yeah.
So it just came to mind because I remember you guys talking about it. And I'm like, well, I wish I could type it fast, and let you guys know. Yeah, no, to answer your question, it was not staged. We were actually surprised that they showed up with that. I had no idea.
You look surprised. You're like, oh, here's Border Patrol taking us away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an epic night, actually. That day was crazy because
Oh, and that pole, there's a pole that you guys can see like next to us or behind us, whatever. That was my roof that was leaking. So it's waiting for an insurance claim, and I had to have a pole holding, a piece of masonite on the top.
we thought that kicking it off. I think was that our first video ever?
No, it was the 30-year-old Glenfiddich.
Okay, because I thought that's what it was, but I still have one of those boxes here from the 30-year-old.
Yeah, I have another one here.
I just picked that clip because you guys were just giving each other the gears. I don't know if you made like a jail reference joke or something about like sucking dick in jail, or I don't know what it was, but it was great. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So funny because during the first, I don't know, like the first couple of years, I had braces on and I had like something on the top of the roof of my mouth that wouldn't allow me to speak well. And so my struggle through those 2 years of videos were hard because I'm like, fuck, like I'm trying to say certain shit and it just doesn't come out right. It was so funny.
I think that's why everyone loves your channel, because you guys are like, no one reviews whiskey like you guys do. Like no one is saying any of that stuff. And like it's great because like you get a really good well palated opinion about whiskey.
Absolutely.
Well, just like two brothers just shooting the shit and busting each other's balls. You don't see that anywhere in Whiskey Tube ever. So it's always entertaining.
So do we get like a full reveal eventually? Like occupations, if the jail time is a real thing, if the
He doesn't think you guys actually. He thinks this is all an act. He doesn't actually think you guys are.
I think you guys are like two businessmen that are like legit like.
No, we actually we really are. We really are business guys. I am an IT professional. I've been doing IT for about 22 years now. I actually was even teaching at the university. Infrastructure deployment and project management and business management. And even today, I do a lot of consulting today, right? So I travel all over the place, just helping organizations build their infrastructure and help them save money. But by not really applying the wrong technology per se and just leading them in the right way. Whereas my brother, you could tell him what you do, but he's really in construction management. That's what he's been doing for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. Went to school for lots of years, architecture degree. That's what I do. I build here, hospitals, ports. If you guys ever come to the Port of Miami, Terminal J, I did some renovations in there. That's what I've been doing for a long time. Construction.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't like really claiming accolades. Since you're asking, I know you, Rob. I know you're a teacher, right? So, and that's commendable, right? Because I know what it takes to be that. I've taught at the university level, and that was hard. I learned a lot from my students, but at the same time, I went and finished my MBA about 10 years ago. So Spanish is our first language, so we didn't come to the U.S. until we were like 13 and 14 years old, where we really didn't know any English at all. So there's just been career progression, life progression, families. My children, I have 4, and they're all adults. My oldest is going to be 27, and my youngest is our daughter, and she's going to be 20. She's a junior in college. She's the last of the Mohicans. So there's I know a little bit about life, right? And we just like to enjoy just having fun, right? Because there's really no sense of just being pissed off other when you can share good shit and just have a good laugh,
Absolutely. Awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah,
So
so there's no jail. There's no jail.
Oh, the jail.
Oh, that's right. You guys never sucked dick in jail before.
Yeah. Well,
No,
that's
he used to suck mine in the DR.
Yeah, that's debatable for him. You know, like if you don't, hey, listen, if you don't tell nobody about my wooden dick, I won't tell nobody about the splinters in your mouth. So, you know, so, but yeah, just keeping it light, you know. But yeah, no, we just
Funny story. Tell him that you first started drinking whiskey up in Orlando, and it was Crown Royale. Remember?
Yeah, it was Crown, and you know, and I didn't know. I was introduced by a you know, someone I reported into, and he's like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" I used to be, you know, always drinking rum. You know, he's like, "No, you need to try some of this shit." And so I'm like, "What is it?" He goes, "Well, it's Canadian whiskey." You know. And I'm like, well, fuck it. But he's used to put a lot of ice on that shit, right? And so he's pouring out. I'm like, you just drink it with ice like that? And he's like, yeah. I mean, you know, the bartender fucking knows. And you see the shit halfway, fucking come refill me. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I guess, you know, I'm going to let this old cat just lead me to the pond, right? And that's how I started. Then someone introduced me into a Glenlivet 12, like some entry level shit one day. And I was just like, wow, this is a little bit different than the other one. What else is out there, you know? And that's kind of how I started, but it was mainly Canadian whiskey that I was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, like a lot of good things about Crown Royal, we don't even see here, right? Like they take a lot of cool bottlings and sell them in the US because like that's their biggest market.
It's funny because I don't know about you, but being Canadian, obviously that's part of it, but my first like introduction to whiskey was always Canadian whiskey. Like I was big into Canadian whiskey for a long time.
My old man just like bought Crown Royal and VO. You don't remember VO?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was it.
Now, my father-in-law still buys that shit.
Yeah. I didn't even know they still made VO. That's crazy.
They know we used to make rum cake.
Espresso, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that you know, rum is something that I know for sure I always drink, right? And when you were talking about the bottle you got there, which actually is a really nice bottle, and the artwork on it, it looks like it's some artwork on one side of it.
Yeah,
looks pretty awesome. But there's one rum, and I don't know, have we reviewed that? Yeah, it looks really nice. I don't know if we reviewed that, but is called Dos Maderas, which means double wood, or you know, something to that effect.
I think I did that solo a while back. Yeah, really good rum, really good.
And so the Dos Maderas is a 10-year-old, and it's what they call the 5+5, right? And so it's 5 years in Barbados cask, right? And then they take that and ship it over to Spain, where they actually mature for another 3 years in Pedro Jimenez and finish it in 2 years in Sherry Oloroso, or vice versa, one of the two. And that shit is phenomenal. It's the color of like burnt motor oil, which is freaking awesome. Nice. And if you've never had it, rest assured, if you can't get there when I come to Canada, right? Unless they let me through, they don't let me through with it. I'm bringing you guys one.
Well, they also have 5+3.
Yeah, they do. They have 5+3. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly which company you're talking about, because they had it here for a bit, but it's not here anymore.
Really?
And it was like you said, it was Pedro Jimenez, and I guess what was it, bourbon cask or whatever before that.
Before that, what they do is because they're taking it from Barbados, where they actually do like all the rum, molasses, and all the stuff or whatever with sugarcane. And those 5 years from there, they on a ship, they ship it down there, and it's almost like, really, honestly, I never gave it any thought until we're talking through it now, that it's no different than what Jefferson's is doing.
Right. Yeah.
So on the bourbon aspect, but yeah, it's superb. I think is if anyone, and I mean, from the Dominican Republic, sugar cane rum is what we do. Barceló, Brugal, Bermudez, like all the other ones. I got one called Leyenda right here. I'll show it to you guys. I'll pull it in a second. That shit is a 5-year-old, but it's freaking phenomenal. There's just so many good ones, you know, when it comes to rums.
Well, anything you put sugar in, it's gonna taste good.
Well, for diabetics like your ass, yeah. But
I wish we got more from Dominican Republic because, like, I'm sure there's incredible stuff out there. It's
Oh
just,
yeah,
we don't get.
we don't bring
any of
in
it.
that much.
Yeah,
They
there's
bring
good
that
stuff
bottle.
there.
Yeah, we don't
Quick question. Tom C was my go-to guy when it came to Scotch. When I started watching YouTube, you guys mentioned the whiskey bitch. Do you guys know what happened to her? Because I know Tom C died because I kept on emailing through his videos, and then his videos were disappearing little by little, little by little. I think his wife, right before he passed, he moved out of the house and he went to a trailer park in which he was living alone. And then shortly after that, I never heard back from the guy. And then I got an email saying that he was no longer available, whatever that meant. So I'm asking you guys because you probably watch the Whiskey Bitch a lot. Have you guys heard from her? Because I haven't seen a video from her in a while.
No, she hasn't posted in like 5-6 years, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think she's done. I think I heard from someone in the community that like she got a lot of like negative feedback, backlash, unfortunate shit,
hate mail.
hate about her appearance or whatever, and it took her off.
Yeah.
But
YouTube took her off?
no, like
No.
she just quit because she
Oh.
it was too
She
many
was
negative
getting
comments.
basically bullied, essentially.
Oh,
Like,
but they were like basically shaming her.
Like
That's
fat,
right.
fat
Yeah.
shaming her. Like
Oh,
fat
that's
shaming her.
that's crazy. She was fucking awesome.
Yeah, she was.
She was
really,
up in Boston, I think.
Yeah, she was in Boston.
Matter of fact, if Whiskey Bitch, if you see this, let's do a collab, girl.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? We would love to have her
At
back
Fenway
that would
Park.
be awesome.
because
Yeah. Let's do a collab at Fenway Park and let's park over there at the park.
Yeah, if you won't park there, I'll stab you in the dock, bitch. Yeah.
but like she was one of my go-to like respectable reviewers because like I trusted her palate and she drank a lot of like really good stuff.
Yeah,
And
oh,
she
she
knew her
was-
shit. She knew her
she was
shit.
hardcore.
Octomore.
She introduced me to Octomore. Yeah, she put me on that. So yeah, like she was one of the best for sure.
My favorite quality of her was that she was fucking hardcore. She didn't give a fuck, right? And so in my mind, it was like she just comes out raw, right? And I was like, and I just love that. Even if she was on mute, the whole shit she had going on was awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
And you know what? She knew her shit. That was the best part.
Mhm.
Like you could disagree with her, but you couldn't disclaim like anything she was saying because she knew what she was talking about.
Speaking of Octomore, my buddy over in Total Wine, he sent me a picture. I think it's 13.8 ppm. Octomore, I want to say 14. Look, Peter White, Kirk and Sweeney. Okay, I haven't had that Kirk and Sweeney. Yeah, it's American too. I've seen it too. Matusalén. Oh, that's sherry cast. Let me see if I have it here real quick.
Hey, by the way, when you look for that, fellas, have you seen a Glenfiddich 12 special edition is out? That's got some it's with some Montadillo.
Yes,
cast?
there's a new sherry. It hasn't come here yet. We only got the new project cask. I don't know.
Project XX or whatever.
No, the newest one.
Okay.
It's like an orchard house or like something of that sort.
Yeah, the XX. I think we did a review on that, didn't we?
On which one? I'm sorry.
On the XX, the Project XX Glenfiddich, or was
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I still have the bottle.
I think then when we did it, I was a bit disappointed on what I got out of it. Sometimes we do reviews right at the first time, right, and we're for one reason or another, we probably don't give it a fair shot, and so sometimes coming back to it is good, and we don't get sometimes like a mulligan to come back and redo it, right? And so I think coming back out of the Ice Age is going to probably give us an opportunity to really grab some of those that we were actually bashing and give it another shot too. Yeah. Like, that's probably one of the things that just, when you look back and you get a chance to actually taste a whole lot of other stuff and come back to it, it may be different. What is that? Oh, okay.
13.1. Nice.
137.3 ppm.
Yeah, crazy.
We used to get Octomore up here for one of the best prices globally, 160 Canadian dollars, like 115 US, something like that, 120 US. You
And
couldn't,
How
you
long
couldn't
ago?
touch that. You couldn't touch that. And nowadays it's double the price, and we're like,
More than double.
more than doubled, and we don't
This is
buy that much.
280.
Yeah,
280.
yeah.
280, yeah.
59,
Pretty much what we're paying.
59.2 ABV, 137.3
All
ppm,
right,
13.1.
so I got a question for Rob and
Yeah.
Jeremy. Someone made a comment. It was like, "Hey, it sounds like Ron Jeremy on there."
Yeah.
Fellas, what are you drinking right now? What are you getting out of that right at the moment?
Motherfucker, they already told you twice. Jeremy's drinking.
I got this Dalyun. I'm probably butchering the name of that, but it's
that
a
the peated?
15-year-old, 2008, 59.4, and it's just a lot of like syrupy. Like I get like a lot of like that Aunt Jemima artificial syrup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like nothing really crazy going on. It's sweet. It's not hot by any means, despite almost being 60%.
Wow.
And it was only like $110. So like
Canadian dollars.
like that's like $30 American. You know what I'm saying?
Holy shit!
So
I didn't know the appreciation was that.
price.
No,
What's
I'm
that?
sorry. I'm sorry if I missed it because I know you guys were talking about some of the stuff earlier. And sometimes when my brother starts to jump in and say shit, I just tune out and I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
But what are you drinking there, Dominican Slugger?
I told you, my cork broke. I can't drink no more.
Oh shit!
I will have to go down below and get me a couple of bottles now.
Well,
I don't know how much longer we're gonna do this.
It's not
if we got another
unfamiliar
10
for you.
minutes. I'll go and get me something else.
It's not
You might as well
unfamiliar.
get one more.
Yeah,
At
get
least,
one more. Get
at
one
least
more.
pour yourself.
Yeah.
I'll tell
All right,
you
I'll be
about
back.
this.
I was
This
going
is
to
what
say
I
it's
got
not
going right
unfamiliar
now.
for him to go down below. Go ahead.
Shut the fuck up.
That Amroot is special though.
So this is what this Amroot. So this is the crazy one. It's essentially like if you took all these like red fruits and just put them on the barbecue, it's all barbecue char. Like they have toasted these barrels or charred these barrels to an extreme amount.
Yeah.
It's so much cask influence, which you would expect, because that's what
Right.
the whole point of it.
Right.
But it is so much cask influence. It's crazy.
So it's oaky, it's sweet, it's everything you want in an Amroot. So I hesitated on buying this one because I have two Amroots behind me, the new Peat Lova and some like wacky. Here, I'll show you.
Sometimes this thing like nose is disgusting. It's like sometimes I'm off put by the nose, and then
Well,
then I
this.
shake it up and I smell it again. I'm like, okay, it's good.
I feel like I should shake this one up. I'm gonna butcher this, but it's a Bagheera sherry finish,
Ooh,
and I
Man.
haven't reviewed it. And I've had it.
that is a freaking awesome bottle.
It's cool. It looks cool.
I
But
like that turquoise color on the label.
You know what? Watch this like drink better than it's ever drank before.
Wow. You've also had like 8 drams tonight, so it probably will.
I had 8 baby pours. No, actually, the ones that weren't baby pours were this Kill Holman and this rum. Everything else was a baby pour. But the Bagheera, you want to try that?
I still got 3 drams on the go.
Tomorrow I have one more tasting. I'm gonna probably try the new Aston Martin,
No way.
the
The
22.
2022.
The 22.
All right, ladies, check this out.
What do you got?
Oof.
The 18?
Yeah. And this is funny. This bottle costs here $159. The first Highland Park 18 I ever purchased. I purchased it in 2010 and it cost me $109.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's all.
So it's been 12, 13 years and probably just $40-50. This is underrated if you ask me. You know that they're owned by Macallan too, same company. Arrington House, something like that.
Yeah. See, sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna say, guys, do not buy this bottle.
Damn. I was actually intrigued by it.
This is like if I knew my father-in-law wouldn't drink this and like pour it into his espresso,
Is it garbage?
I would pour this.
Okay.
Did I miss something while I was down there? Did you guys talk about it?
This is one that I bought a while ago and it sucks. It's actually horrible. It's
Do you
all
really-
sulfur.
Do you really want me to answer that question?
I want
What
to.
did you miss where you were going? Cock in your
Honestly,
mouth.
I don't think even after like 5 years in prison, I still wouldn't like that whiskey.
Yeah.
You can make better stuff in jail than this.
Yeah,
You know, funny story. When we used to live in the Dominican Republic, one of our uncles was really high in the military ranking. And we used to get busted, stealing cars and boosting bodegas and
This is
shit
a
like
true
that.
story, though. This is true
Yeah.
story.
It is. So sometimes we were low in cash, and you will have these hot dog stands that will, go in corners in different areas. And these guys used to fall asleep at about 1 or 2 when things used to die down because, of course, they're dead tired. We used to just grab everything, even their money out of their front fanny packs, faggot packs, whatever they used to, hide all their money and stuff like that. Walk out with all their meat, hot dogs. We used to roll out with all their cokes. We used to go to the bodegas over there in the Dominican Republic, and they used to have this banana. I don't know what it's called, but they used to hang them from like a beam or something, and they used to hang, FaceTime.
Yeah, I should will have hundreds of bananas just hanging off,
Yeah.
like, with like with like some sort of, like, not even a string. It's more like a freaking. Anyway,
So we used to go and cut the string and bring the whole thing of banana and sell it to the next bodega 2 corners down, and that's how we used to make our money.
it was crazy. So, fellas, I'm going to give you a little bit of what I'm drinking here, just for the sake of the exercise, right? This 12-year-old triple cask, 40% alcohol by volume, is a 1 liter. I don't know, man. The 12-year-old double cask that we get in the US, 750 ml, is better. This one's extremely light.
What are
It's
the
good
three?
in the
What are the
nose.
3 casks? You got? Is it Oloroso, PX, and ex bourbon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, it's got some vanilla taste to it.
I forgot the tea.
But that is very, okay. Oloroso sherry, butts, first fill bourbon barrel, and traditional whiskey cask, but whatever that is. But all in all, to say that, it's super light, and is actually, I will say that it's not bad. I don't know that I will choose the triple cask over the 12-year-old double cask, if that makes sense. It's super light, doesn't have any viscosity, but it's a good one to sip. Like if you're smoking a nice light cigar, maybe a Connecticut leaf with something like this will be nice.
Ooh, let's talk cigars, because I just got into cigars like in the last year or so, like officially.
So
What do
he
you
loves
guys-
putting things
guys
in his
like,
mouth.
what do you guys like? You guys like smoking cigars a lot, or
Yeah, he loves my cigar in his mouth.
Anything he can put in his mouth, he loves it.
But
got that Moderno in his mouth? Huh?
actually, yeah, I've been trying to get him to at least smoke, to do like pairings, because it will be nice to do some pairings with this, right? And do a couple videos.
Yeah.
And
The
but
thing is that I used to get chased by dogs in the DR a lot, so I developed asthma. So I haven't been able to cure. So I'm afraid of inhale cigar smoke and then go back to that.
Well, the best thing about cigars is you don't actually inhale the smoke. So
That's what someone told me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been
this
telling you
dumbass.
that shit for a long time, but when
I don't trust you.
When you figure out the difference, when you figure out the difference between your ass and your face, let's have a conversation.
Funny thing, see, I always go back to how I started. The other day I was drinking Glenfiddich 12, and man, it's phenomenal. Like, for instance, I see you guys have so much stuff over there. You should be supplying the LCBO. Mike and Narby should be supplying, the Whiskey Exchange with all the stuff that they got. I enjoy so much.
Hey,
the
by the
bottles
way,
here.
Rob, whenever you
Motherfucker, I was talking. What did you do?
because it's not important what you're saying. So, serve yourself a dram. Rob, I know you caused some heat about this one, but whenever you want to do a tasting on the Virginia Black, let me know. I got one right here, bro.
You know what, man? I'm down for that. I want to revisit that bottle because I want to see how wrong I was about that bottle back in the day.
I called you out in a very nice way.
Yeah,
but
it was good.
that bottle is shit. I can't believe that you even want to even drink it. It's so garbage.
Yeah, it was a gift, and I can tell you it's been had it for at least a year. It's not even half, and I think most of it has been given to someone that's come to visit here.
The
Put it
bunker.
in your espresso.
You gotta do something with it.
It's a good looking bottle, though. I won't take that away from it. I think it's a great looking bottle, but
so Drake was supposed to do more after that, but I guess it didn't really do well because he didn't do anything after that.
Yeah, it's still on the shelf of the LCBO. Probably the same bottles that were released 5 years ago.
Really?
All right. I know I mentioned it earlier, and I saw Jeremy's face when I call his name. Fun with Pete and Sherry. He's from here, the U.S. He's been on for a while. He's been off now for a while. Julian, yeah. Remember we were supposed to meet in D.C. that time that we went to see the Nationals?
Yeah.
And then something happened. He ended up going to the wrong hotel.
Well,
you guys know him? Have you guys watched his videos?
It's been forever, I think. Fun with Pete and Sherry, like
they were gone before I started my channel.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So this guy had the most interesting approach. I used to watch him because he used to just get hammered on camera, and
it was funny.
Sometimes when he will start with no T-shirt on, sometimes, right? And so
you guys gotta watch at least a video.
He had a cat, and his cat's name was Tipsy.
Yeah,
right?
So you remember the cat? Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about? And so it was funny because the guy is actually a mathematician, right? But he's got a beautiful mind like Russell Crowe, but he becomes a mess in camera. And so it was pretty funny to watch him.
Who else gets
watch he'll sue you for defamation of character, you dumbass.
I don't give a fuck.
Eric Waite. Eric Waite
gets a little tipsy. Foodquig likes to have some drams.
Yeah.
Foodquig has like one of the most watched whiskey reviews ever.
Yeah.
He's like breaking up with his girlfriend as he's reviewing Lefroy 10-year-old. It's like a masterpiece of a video. It's really good.
Guys,
he's unfazed.
His girlfriend's packing boxes and moving out of his house, and he's just like, on the nose.
She's like loudly blowing her nose in the back.
Crying.
She's bawling. She's bawling in the background. She's like, and then she's like, bye. And he's like, bye.
Yeah, this motherfucker, like this badass motherfucker, is just like, all right, on the nose, and he like just goes right back to the review. It's priceless.
Guys, we got to do this. We got to bring Mark and Narvi and Ralphie. Let's get some people in here.
Oh, you want to do?
You know who I like a lot? The dummies, the 4 dummies.
The 4 dummies. Yeah, we can do that.
Scotch 4 dummies.
We can get the Scotch 4 dummies on here.
You want to do like a super team?
We'll do like a team.
An all-star.
We'll do.
Yeah, there you go. All-star.
Yeah,
Ralphie might not do like a big, like he doesn't even necessarily want to do a live. Well, actually, he suggested that we could do a live.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast a couple times.
But just you could call it the Whiskey League, right? And so, the Brown Liquor League. But
I'm actually part of a league, like kind of tasting, blind tasting coming up this Friday on the Scotch 4 Dummies channel, or it might be on the SMW. I think does he do it out of the same YouTube channel?
I don't know.
My boy Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies sent me some.
Is he the short one or the tall one?
He's the shorter one of the two. He sent me some blind samples, and I'm up against the Bourbon Junkies this Friday. So they have samples, I have samples. Whoever wins the bracket goes on to the next round. There's the winning prize, I believe, is like $1,000. $1,000.
You better
take down.
What's the entry fee?
You better take down.
Is there an entry fee?
There's no fee. It was organized like just by SMWS. Yeah,
they're sponsored by SMW.
Yeah, he works for them. He works for them. Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the idea that we have of comparing, this stuff used to be magical. To me, I used to really enjoy it. I still do. I think it's really good, but it's lost that magic. Before, I used to drink it, and on the side of my tongue, it used to get like dry, and all of a sudden, within a few seconds, it used to get sweaty again, and it was like really, really magical. Now, this is just simply a dram that's really good, very, very sherry driven, and it's there's no body to it. I mean, I've sipped maybe half of this, and it's gone. It's not the same, not at all. I think I still have the other bottle. I probably have about an eighth or maybe a quarter. I'm gonna look for it. and I'll do a comparison on this too. Let me
Have
tell
you
you.
guys, what's the oldest Highland Park you've tried?
Well, Rob had a 21 that I was always dying for it.
I think I did a 25. Actually, no. You and I had a 25 when we went to the
extravaganza.
The single malt extravaganza.
Yeah.
Down in Fort Lauderdale.
And I'm not too crazy about all this Viking design and
it's garbage.
I don't. And the 15-year-old, they made it like white ceramic, maybe.
Yeah,
I do have an old.
I trashed that. Whiskey.
You hated it. You hated it. I liked it.
I have an old 15-year-old with that green or yellow label here.
That was great whiskey.
Yeah, it tastes like Blue Label. Remember, we used to compare it to the Blue Label.
Yeah, that was a great whiskey.
Actually, the 15 resembles a lot the Blue Label.
Like stupid fuck! I just said that.
Motherfucker, I was agreeing with you. Like he doesn't know how to take a compliment, but he knows how to take a cock. You go figure this one, you know.
In jail, you got to figure out a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of things.
My last.
I have exactly that one. Yeah, I have that one.
Bro, that's
my last part tonight for here.
That's a bad bitch right there.
You know, I'm gonna forward you. I contact them because I didn't know the ratio between the sherry cask and the bourbon, and they sent me a printout which entails everything. The ratio, it's 60% sherry oak, 40% American bourbon. I think it's like 46% ABV. I forget, but I have that. I'll print that out. I'll forward it to you guys.
If you go to whiskybase.com, a lot of people do a really good job of nailing the cask maturations for a lot of different things. Yeah. And they do the same way, right? They'll email a distillery and they'll tell them.
Fellas,
but I'll tell you this: I like the 15-year-old better.
You're pulling up some shit now, right? But I wanted to before we go. I'm gonna actually pull a switcheroo here. I was gonna do the big strand as my last one.
Look at Richie.
Yeah,
the Z-Man.
Richie Z.
This is the bourbon that I was telling you fellas about earlier. It's 35. That single barrel. This shit is awesome.
You brought me one. I still have it.
I'm gonna, since you guys were doing a rum, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it with a rum that was brought to me 2 weeks ago from Fiji. So I'm gonna crack that open right now, and then that will be my latest one. And then
I'm going to Scotland in March. I'm gonna bring some weird shit from there.
When are you going?
March 3rd. I'm flying over to London Heathrow, and then I'm going over to. I was gonna fly to Glasgow, but then this other airport, I forget the name of it. It was more convenient. The rent a car, the whole thing. So someone recommended me this in the channel.
That's awesome.
So we
might be over there at the same time. Actually,
we'll be in Ireland, like around the 15th to like the 18th ish.
I'm gonna scoot over to Scotland too, either before or after that.
So you guys might be able to align that.
We should go to Springbank and just drink from the cask. You know?
Oh my God! Can you imagine? They'll have to pick me up from the floor. Yeah, I'm starting off at Glenlivet. I'm doing the Balbini. And one of my followers in the channel, he mapped it out for me, and I'm gonna follow that. I don't know how high in the Highlands I'm gonna go. I'm not going to Macallan. I've been disappointed with Macallan lately. I have so many bottles of Macallan, and unless I crack a 1994 18-year-old, which I'm saving it for my college kid, whenever he gets married, I told him we're drinking that. It's dark. It's dark. It's gotta be fucking pungent. It's like Aunt Jemima, which by the way is no longer called that. It's called Pearl Mills, something like that.
Yeah, they're not allowed to call it.
Yeah, you can't call it Aunt Jemima anymore.
Everybody's too goddamn sensitive. So this Ratu is the spice rum from Fiji.
Okay.
They just made it. I haven't tasted it, so I don't know what to expect. But
that's dark.
Kind of reminds me of like the monkey shoulder bottle without the little monkeys on it.
Yeah.
So
get the spring back early before the cask.
Yeah.
That's the key for sure.
This is drinking way better now than it did when I first opened this bottle.
Yeah.
This Springbank 18.
What year is this Springbank?
This is a 2021.
21? Yeah.
I don't know what year is mine. I think it's 2020 or maybe 19.
You've had this, yeah?
Oh, damn.
Hazelburn 15.
Yeah, good. Very good.
Hazelburn 15. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Wow, look at the color in this sucker.
It's getting to the point where it's hard to review Springbank now on the channel because people are like just mad.
People
just
get
angry.
people get mad about it. I don't know if you guys like watched the online Scotch Whiskey Wars, like Ralphie and Aquavite put on, but like Springbank won Distillery of the Year, and people were pissed off in the chat. They were like, "Fuck Springbank! I can't get it where I am. Like, I hate that distillery now because their distribution sucks, and it's just an elitist whiskey, and blah 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 blah."
I love their product. And my favorite one is a 15-year-old.
Yeah, the 15,
That 15
is
up there
fantastic.
is ridiculously good.
But I've seen different 15. I've seen yellow tags. Mine has a black tag.
Yeah,
they switch it
You
up every
guys
year.
get
Right?
a-
Every 15 is different, so it's like.
You guys get a product up there called Shield Dag?
No.
sounds familiar.
Oh, that's a Shield Dag thing. Oh, hold on. I have a picture. This is what I was sipping.
Yeah,
Watch.
you were drinking the 18 the other day when you sent me that picture, but they're
The
making
30.
the 30. So they make one that is a sherry first fill oloroso, and it's like $50 and it's fucking superb. It's only a matter of time before everybody figure out what that shit is, and that shit will jump like crazy.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Nice.
Where's that? A Dalwini?
Yeah, I bet Rob bought all of them because he's a huge fan of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I did the whole lineup, and that video like just did not do as well as I thought it would.
Yeah. The funny thing about those whiskeys is like as soon as that series ended and everyone like hated the finale, the price of those whiskeys dropped.
Yeah,
They dropped
they
right
did.
off.
it's crazy
They
how
did.
that happened.
Yeah.
Look, talking about old school, I went back to this.
Yeah.
And I like going back to this stuff, how I started.
Oh,
That's how it started
speaking
for
of
me,
the
too.
Game of Thrones, did you guys ever get that Johnny Walker? What was it called?
Ice and Fire.
The Racer?
No, I have one bottle that I haven't opened.
The White Walker.
Dragon?
The
The
White
The
Walker.
White Walker.
Yeah. We did a cocktail with that. It was actually not too bad, but to drink it straight, we weren't the biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys, Costco sells this shit, single malts.
Yes.
You guys have Costco over there, right?
Yeah, but they don't sell alcohol in Ontario.
Not in our province. The other areas in Canada do, but not here.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So the White Walker was great. Great to have it on my shelf and not open it.
It looks cool.
Look, this is what I was sipping at Total Wine.
So that Shield Dag, that
yeah.
it kind of looks like an S from Springbank.
Yeah.
They have one with the label is like orange in the front, and it's the Sherry Oloroso first fill, and that thing is freaking fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Motherfucker.
Man, this shit is different. Holy shit.
That's my favorite. This is my favorite video of our channel. The Toki.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
dude.
favorite video is the one where you guys are drinking like what was it, like a Macallan? Was it an 18-year-old? You guys
We used to,
back in
we
the
used to
day,
find
you
that
guys
out.
drank some of the best stuff. Like some of the best stuff.
Yeah.
I think you were drinking a Macallan 18, and then you pulled out a Glendronach 18. Am I right about that?
It might have been the
Or
Yamazaki.
the other way around.
I think
you did Macallan 18 versus Yamazaki 18. I'm pretty sure that was a good
Maybe.
video.
Yeah.
I think I did that one alone.
I think what we did, Rob, I think what you're talking about, if I remember correctly, was we had a Mac 18, and then we pulled a Glendronach. There was like a, I don't know, it didn't have an age statement, but it was like it tells you what year it was bottled. It was like some crazy shit.
Oh, I remember those.
Like
I
when
still
you
have
add
them.
the numbers, it was 18 years or something like that.
Yeah. Something. Yeah, it was something like that. And like you guys, they were getting some great stuff at such great prices.
Yeah. We were always envious of that.
it's never better than walking off with it. You know what I mean? Like when you walk out with it,
Oh yeah, those are
your
true.
face is fucking priceless.
Those are true stories,
You
though.
don't know what to do.
A lot of walkouts. A lot.
You're like, how much did this cost you? 5-finger discount price.
5-finger discount.
Yeah.
Bro, your faces are freaking epic. Like you just can't replace that look.
We used to walk that shit out. And we used to laugh for hours. We couldn't even control ourselves. And then after we would calm down for like 2 hours, okay, let's barbecue and talk about it.
My sister-in-law is from Florida, so every time she would go for like the first few years, when she would go home to visit her parents, she would bring me back like I'm like, just get me Macallan 18 anything.
Yeah.
So she brought me back the 1992, the 95, the 94, the 97. I was like, those were the days.
Those were good stuff.
Yes.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
You can see the colors. You can. I got different 18-year-olds here, and it's different.
The thing is that they killed the what was the oak line, right? It was like the 10, 15, and 21.
Fine oak, yeah.
The fine oak, right? And they killed that, and so
Those sucked ass.
Like slowly, they're moving slowly into the freaking non-age statement now. They got like the Lumina, they got the Quest, and they have like all this, like the Ruby and all these other ones.
Yeah. But those are duty-free travel retails.
Yeah, I actually heard the Enigma is pretty good. Enigma?
Yeah.
I just had it.
They have a new line of just whatever junky shit, but
yeah, like they were on sale recently. My buddies bought them.
44%.
Yeah, 44%.
Yeah.
I got a Terra.
The Terra is not bad. It's not bad.
It's like $200.
Actually, you know what I just got right now? I just brought me 2 Island Greens, 2 liters.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The Johnny Walker Greens, but the Caribbean version, the Island Greens,
the rum cask or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, got them right there.
Bro, did you pay your internet? Your shit is flickering like hell.
That's his lights on his chest there.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that shit from
maybe because you have 2 pairs of sunglasses on, you can't see properly.
No, his internet's good, man. It looks good on this side.
Hey Rob, like those are the see, he just lifted his contacts.
I'm blind as a bat now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm gonna tell you right now, this stuff right here is spicy, but it's fucking good.
I like spicy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
From Fiji, what kind of water they got there?
I have a Fiji rum aged in a peated cask.
Get out.
Yeah. It's right here.
This Amaru, by the way, is trash. It is trash.
Is it really?
Garbage.
It tastes like it's been matured in like a balsa wood cask. Like the wood tastes dry and disgusting.
No, it tastes like someone took a piss in the cask.
I would love to try it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you: Do your wives drink with you guys, or
no?
Do they like scotch?
My wife is like a prissy Italian lady. Like she only drinks
some wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
red wine.
Whiskey cocktail, sure, but nothing.
Yeah. What a blessing. Although I will argue that the wine consumption could get more expensive than the actual
Absolutely.
Than the actual
open it and drink it all.
Yeah,
all
like
at once.
it's one bottle.
Yeah.
$25-$30 gone in one night.
It has to be gone in one night.
So yeah, 3-4 glasses gone. Right. Where one of those bottles, where by the time you finish sipping them, right, you got a year or 2 maybe on the shelf, right?
Yeah, like some of these bottles have been open for over a year and a half, more than that.
Yeah, so I
that thing about oxidization, the oxidized. Let me tell you, I have bottles I opened 12 years ago, and there's no problems at all.
Yeah,
I'm still drinking them.
Yeah,
like little sips. I have years with bottle, years. And they still taste the same.
I think I should like videotape me drain pouring this whiskey.
Drain pour.
Should we do it? Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah,
we'll get a video of that.
Well, maybe you guys got a bad batch. Why don't you write to Omri? I remember that guy that we were just talking about having fun with Pete and Sherry. He had a bad Glenfiddich 12, and he wrote to the distillery. And because of the batch number, something like that, they were able to pinpoint that it was a bad batch, and they replaced it.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is the whole batch, though, isn't it?
have you guys ever had the
Yeah.
Glenfiddich Snow Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah.
That shit was fantastic.
That
I
was
still have the bottle.
My brother pulled out the other day one that I was able to get my hands on 3 of those, and he still got one. It was the Glenfiddich Cask of Dreams.
nice.
Mhm.
We had that too.
I remember you guys were the first person to put me onto that Cask of
Oh
Dreams.
my god, bro, that's so good. So
That was
good.
That shit, it tastes like eggnog.
Vanilla
Back
bomb,
then,
yeah.
Glenfiddich they weren't putting it on the bottle, but those were like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Both those.
Hey, you know what's the difference between then and now, right? Is obviously the different malt master. The guy that's doing the Balbinis was the malt master for Glenfiddich during those times.
Yeah.
It's Stewart.
So that's a huge difference. I mean, the new guy that's been around, what's his name? Is somewhere around one of the bottles, but he's doing okay. But he's not the guy that took on Balbini. He's not that guy. He was his apprentice for like 10 years.
Mhm.
It's true.
Bro, this
Hey.
shit is fucking good.
I'm coming down to Florida in
Do
May
it.
for
Where?
the Formula One race.
Oh, that's Daytona?
Not Daytona. No. Formula One in
Is
It's
that
at
his
the-
country?
it's at the Hard Rock, like near Fort Lauderdale, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's in Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah. So let's meet up. We'll smoke some Dominican cigars and we'll drink some fucking epic scotch.
Smoke some.
Let's do it. Rob, you tagging along, Rob? Come on.
Canadian
We
weed.
got to take you to the
you
four
guys
of
gotta
us.
come up here where weed is legal.
Well, I'll tell you this. I had purchased tickets last year to go to Toronto, and they canceled my flights through Air Canada because of the COVID situation. And then I learned from someone living in Canada that after you have arrived there, you needed to be quarantined for 3 days. And I was just going for 3 days to watch 2 games at Rogers Stadium. And because of that reason, they refund me the money. Now that we don't have that problem with COVID, I'm pretty sure we could just fly, bro. Just book that shit. Let's go next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah.
I'm coming down.
I can't.
So Rob, you're not coming with Jeremy, Rob?
During that time, I'm teaching, unfortunately. I teach I only have a break in December, and then I have another break in March, and then in like July and August, I'm off.
Well, he's off for 2 months in the summer, so
July and
you
August.
can't really complain. But yeah, I'm coming
Yeah.
down. I'm coming down for Formula One, Miami. It's gonna be super, super epic. I'm super.
My
excited.
wife wants to go to Disneyland, bring the kids, so maybe.
Well,
Well,
but,
Disney World down in Orlando.
if you
Oh,
go
yeah,
if you go to Disneyland, you're not coming here.
That's true. Yeah, that's in California, right?
Yeah.
And in France, in Japan. The
But-
only Disney World is in Orlando.
Yeah,
Disney
I'm in
World. Maybe
Orlando.
that's what you meant. Yeah, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
she did say Florida, so
Yeah, I'm in Orlando, so Disney World is here, and I'm like 20 minutes from Disney.
perfect. So we'll meet
so
up
yeah,
for sure
we'll-
then if that happens.
Yeah.
When
now-
is it that you're coming for
France.
Formula One again?
The first week of May, first weekend of May.
Okay, we'll be here. It's hot as shit, though. You start seeing things after a while.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take you. We'll take you.
After he leaves this house.
Hey man, after drinking at this place, I can't see any more shit than I've never seen before.
We'll take you
listen.
to Total Wine, a little grab and run.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah,
He'll tell you.
yeah. I'll just be like this, a Total Wine. It's like, yes,
They
bye.
don't chase you. They don't chase you. One of the store managers is my buddy.
Right. It's it. Put it on the Peat Lovers tab. Bye.
That's right. And by the way, when you start seeing weird shit, trust me, I know, because he's told me stories when his best she's become his woman in jail and all kinds of shit. So,
You don't
believe
fuck.
what
I'm
you
gonna
want.
slap you.
believe what you want.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him about Marcus right now.
Oh
That's for another video.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey, we're super excited that you guys are like back on the docket now. Gonna release some more videos. I'm super excited to see what you guys are gonna put out. Because we've always been a fan. Always been a fan of you guys' channel for sure.
Absolutely.
Since day one.
Thank you.
Since day one, for sure.
Thank you.
We appreciate, bro, every time you guys come on and give us a shout out is always great. It's actually one of those things that you don't really know, right? Like when you do something, you don't really know if someone's watching and for what reason they really like you or don't like you. When we actually started, it wasn't for us to get a following. It was almost like, what can we do with this shit? Hey, why don't we just do something on YouTube? not to know that we were going to make friends, that we have a following. We have, just like you guys, right? You got people that you talk to all the time that won't do a video for their life, but they're always engaged, and those guys are always great.
Yeah,
you know, so and everybody's got like their own little niche, and so it's super cool to see you guys coming together, doing what you're doing. You guys are fucking doing movies now. What the hell's going on?
That's right.
We've even had our kids back in 2010. They even opened up their own channel, the South Florida Pop Lovers. You know, like reviewing Fanta and Coke and Sprite.
I will send you guys the link. You don't have to. You do whatever you want with it. But they sent it to me the other day, and I was just rolling because
that's awesome.
Our nephew and my kid back then, they probably were teenagers, right? And
yeah, they were.
Now they're grown men. They're married. They got their homes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. So
that's awesome.
So it's super cool to see all of that.
That's very cool. Very, very, very cool.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, that was like epic, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to that. Hey, thanks for everybody that was watching. Thanks, Jeremy and Rob, for hosting us. This is actually super cool. And you know, sometime in the future, if you guys ever want to have a cameo or want to join us or invite us, you know, keep us in mind. You know, we'd love to join and just, you know, shoot the shit with the boys.
All the time.
Absolutely.
For sure, guys, for sure.
Hey, let's get it together with Mike and Narvi, and let's bring somebody else, you know.
Those guys will
party going.
They'll be in for sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What would be even better is if we meet somewhere in the US.
Oh,
I'm down. Anywhere.
Yeah, let's do it. That'll be badass.
Absolutely. Yo, listen,
do you guys need a visa to come into the US? Being Canadian?
No, we can just come down and hang out. No,
they let Canadians in, no problem.
Yeah, they love us down there. They love us.
Hey, listen, we could always meet in New York too. There's a place.
Let's go to Buffalo, right there with the Niagara Falls.
Yeah, right across the street.
There's a place.
We're almost like less than 2 hours away from Buffalo.
Well, there's a place in the city called the Whisky Library. And if you look it up and on Google, just Google the Whisky Library. That place got the most rarest shit that I've ever seen. And if you ever go to DC, there's a place called Jack Rose. It's one of my favorite places. Jack Rose has got unbelievable shit. And so we could do DC, New York, doesn't really matter. We could always go to the single malt extravaganza. Look that up.
I've never seen Peat Lovers before. Saludo.
There you go, new fan tonight.
Yeah, 100% pre-musted.
Get some subscribers, guys. Subscribe to their channel if you haven't already.
Yeah, go find them.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So let's really make this happen. Let's meet somewhere there, maybe even Buffalo. We could fly to New York, you know. We'll meet somewhere. And Jeremy, when you're down here, bro, we'll take you around.
Yeah, man. I'll let you guys know because I am coming for that whole week. The week of May, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Whenever you can carve out time from whoever's traveling with you, identify that time and let us know. Because for me, Fort Lauderdale is a 3-hour drive, so it's not really a long drive.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm like right there, right at like Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale area. Yeah.
No, for sure. Well, we look forward to it. And when you guys are ready, let us know, man. We're gonna be around, so we're gonna be start pumping shit. We're probably going to be doing Whiskey Wednesdays reviews and that sort of stuff because our life they are really, actually, believe it or not, they're busy as shit. Mine is, I'm traveling all the time. So, but we'll find the time to get in.
Right on.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
All right, fellas.
Pleasure.
All right, likewise, guys. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was.
Cheers.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, cheers, fellas.
All right, guys.